Hello guys, it is so good to see you today. I am Miss Kirk and I am excited to spend some time with you today. We have a lot of exciting things we're going to do today. If you've been joining along on some of my other videos, this one might be a little bit different, but I think you're really going to like it. Today we're going to do a little more movement, a little more yoga, a little more fun, I think. So I hope you enjoy it too. To get us started, I do have a book I want to share with you, and I want you to really listen as I read this book because we're going to be doing some activities that go along with the book after. So make sure you pay really close attention. But before I read the book, let's make sure that we fill our body with that really good air, getting us ready to be the best that we can be. So if you're on the floor, which is a great place to be as we do this lesson, make sure you're in that crisscross. Make sure your back is straight. Your head is reaching towards the sky. This is your proud seated mountain pose. And let's do a couple of deep breaths. Let's see, which one should we do today? I think I'm going to do balloon breath today, but if you have a favorite you would rather do, you're welcome to do that too. But I think I'll do balloon breath. So I'm going to take my hands. You can join me if you'd like. Place them right on my belly. And I'm going to breathe in through my nose and then out through my mouth, filling my belly with air and then deflating it, just like a big balloon and then a balloon that loses all its air. So let's do that together. Breathe in and out. In and out. Last one, biggest one yet. Breathe in through your nose. Out through your mouth. Very good. Notice how when I made those deep breaths, you heard a little bit as the air went in and out, but I wasn't making really loud grunting noises. I wasn't going or anything like that. That's not very good for our body. That's not the deep breathing we want to do. It's okay if you can hear it, like but we don't want it to be much louder than that. So anytime you do your deep breaths, make sure you pay close attention to the sound it's making and make sure it's that perfect amount of noise that's filling your body with that good air. Very good job. As I read the story, if you could stay in your crisscross with your back straight in that strong seated mountain pose, that would be great. If you want to lay down as I read the story, that's okay too. We'll come back to this posture after the story. It's up to you. This book is called The Giving Tree. Many of you might have read it before. It's one of my absolute favorites. So let's read The Giving Tree. Whether you've read it before or not, it's always a great story. The Giving Tree by Shel, Silverstein. Once there was a tree, and she loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come, and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches and eat apples. It's an apple tree. And they would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. And the boy loved the tree. very much. And the tree was happy. He wrote me and T for tree. But time went by, and the boy grew older. And the tree was often alone. Then one day the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and eat apples and play in my shade and be happy." "I am too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me some money?" "I'm sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I have only leaves and apples. Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you will have money and you will be happy." And so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy. And she said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy." "I'm too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm," he said. "I want a wife and I want children, and so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house. But you may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy." And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time. And when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered, "come and play." "I'm too old and sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy, but not really. And after a long time, the boy came back again. "I am sorry, boy," said the tree, "but I have nothing left to give you. Look, he's just a stump. My apples are gone." "My teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You cannot swing on them." "I'm too old to swing on branches," said the boy. "My trunk is gone," said the tree. "You cannot climb." "I am too tired to climb," said the boy. "I am sorry," sighed the tree. "I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I'm just an old stump. I'm sorry." "I don't need very much now," said the boy. "Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I am very tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could, "well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest." And the boy did. The stump was still useful to the boy. And the tree was happy. The end. Very good. The Giving Tree, one of my favorites. Such a good book. Now, I said we were going to get to do some activities to go along with this book, and we are going to get to move a little bit. So if you got out of your crisscross during our story, if you could come back to that crisscross. Remember, this is our seated mountain pose when we're in crisscross. Our back is straight, our head is reaching towards the sky, and we're our proudest, strongest self. Remember, we call this seated mountain pose because we're strong like a mountain. If I was sitting like this, do I look like a strong mountain? No, kind of look like a weak hill or something. But instead, I'm going to sit like a strong mountain. Let's take our shoulders up towards our ears and then down our back. Sometimes our shoulders tend to come in, and we really want them to go back. So instead of sitting like this, we're going to move them back. So let's try that again. Bring your shoulders all the way up towards your ears and then back down. Very good. We're going to do some yoga movements that go with our story. But first, let's get our arms a little stretched out. At the beginning of our story, the boy loved to climb the tree. So let's do a posture that kind of is like climbing a tree. We call this monkey arms. Monkeys climb on things, right? Yeah, so let's start off with this. For our monkey arms, you're going to lift your arm straight in the air above your head, and then fold, turn around so that you can see the back. So you're going to lift your arm straight up and then put your arm down on your back. The palm of your hand will be on your back. You're going to take your other arm, it doesn't matter which one, and go up your back, and you should see that palm. So you can see how my hands come together. You might be able to bring your fingers together, or maybe you can bring your hands all the way together. I can't quite do that. I can just barely get my fingers to touch. But you want your back to still be straight. It doesn't matter if your fingers touch or not. The important part is that your back is straight and that you're reaching, climbing, just like the boy in our story. Hold your monkey arms here for 3, 2, 1. Then you can come back down. Very good job. That should be a really good stretch of your arms and back. Now let's do the other side, because we don't want to climb just one side of the tree. We need to climb the other side too. So whichever arm went up last time, do the different arm this time. So this arm went up last time. So I'm going to do this arm up this time. Bring it down, putting my palm on my back. Then I'm going to lift my other hand around. Remember, this time you're going to see the palm. And look, it may be different. I can't stretch nearly as far on this side because that's how my body is made. And that's okay. We're all made differently. And for me, it hurts to go any further. And remember, when we do yoga, we never ever want it to hurt. We're making our body stronger and we're making our body feel good. We're not making our body hurt. So only go as far as what's comfortable for you. Hold your monkey arms on this side for 3, for 2, and 1. Then slowly come out of your monkey arms. Very good. Just like the boy in the story, we climbed a tree there in our yoga poses. But if we're going to climb a tree, we need to be a tree, right? So go ahead and come to standing. You don't need much space. You don't have to have a yoga mat. If you have one, you can get it out. You might notice that mine's right here. I'm not even using it. But if you want to use one, you can. Remember, when we come to standing, we first want to start in our standing mountain pose. We were doing our seated mountain pose, but now we're going to do our standing mountain pose. In standing mountain pose, we want our feet about 2 fists apart. So we want them just about that far apart, not too wide, not too close together. 2 fists in between our feet. We want our feet to be straight. We want our legs to be straight. We want our back to be straight. We want our head to be reaching towards the sky. This is our proud mountain pose. Very good. But in our story, we heard all about a tree, right? An apple tree. So let's see if we can become a tree just like the tree, the strong tree in our story. So we're in our strong mountain pose. And from here, we're going to take our leg and we're going to place our foot on our ankle, just like this. This is a balance challenge, so if you get a little off balance, just put your foot back down, come back to mountain pose. So we're gonna just really focus on pushing into the earth with your foot that's still on the ground. That will help your balance. Very good. Now, here's our tree, but our tree needs limbs to swing on, just like the boy swung on the limbs in the story. So begin to lift your arms up. That might make it harder to balance. So really push into that leg, that foot that's on the ground. And now we have our strong limbs coming out. Very good. When we have our limbs growing on our tree, we don't want weak limbs. They'll break. A boy couldn't swing on really weak limbs. We want strong limbs. Good. Very good. Limbs that are strong enough to hold apples and boys and girls and anyone who wants to play on our tree. Good. Strong tree pose. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Now slowly bring your foot back down. Bring your arms back down. Good. You may want to kind of walk it out a little bit, bending your knees very slowly. Remember, never doing anything that hurts our body, only doing things that feel good. Very good. Now we did tree on one side, but now we need to do it on the other. So I lifted my right leg up last time, so this time I'm going to lift my left leg up into that tree pose. I'm putting my foot right on my ankle. I'm pushing into my other foot so that I can stay stable and strong, like a strong tree. Now I've got my strong tree, but what do I need? I need limbs. Yeah, so I'm going to begin to grow my limbs, slowly creating strong limbs that can hold apples and that can be swung on and played on. Strong tree pose. We did our strong mountain pose already. Now we're in our strong tree pose. Good. If you really want a challenge, you could try closing your eyes here. It's harder to balance when you close your eyes, but give it a try if you want. Very good. Hold your strong tree pose for 3, for 2, and for 1. Come back down. Very good. Walk those legs out again, bending, carefully lifting your knees, stretching your legs. Your legs have been really strong for you already, so we want to give them a little break. You may want to roll out your ankles. Do a little roll there, that strong tree. We want to make sure we're taking care of our muscles. Good. All right. So we did our tree pose on both sides with our tree being at our ankle. We're going to get a little harder. Do you think you can do it? All right, let's try it. Remember, in yoga, anytime you want to come back to mountain pose, you can. So if this is too hard or your balance is off, if you've noticed you're falling over, just come back to mountain pose because we shouldn't be falling over. We don't want to hurt ourselves. We always want to protect our body. Our body is so special and so important to keep healthy and to keep strong. So we never, ever want to hurt it. So let's come back to that mountain pose. Make sure your feet have those 2 fists between them. My back is straight. I'm reaching towards the clouds. My strongest mountain pose. All right, let's do tree pose again, but this time I'm going to bring my foot right to my calf. And this is my calf. This is not my calf. What is this? Yeah, that's my knee. Very good. I don't want to bring my foot to my knee because that is dangerous for my knees. And I need my knees because they bend my legs. And that is so important. So I'm not going to bring my foot to my knee. I'm going to bring it right here. So just a little higher than last time. Last time we did the ankle. Now we're going to do the calf. So you're going to bring your foot right to your calf. Notice it's not on my knee. That would be dangerous. I'm not even going to show you that because I don't want to hurt my knee. But make sure it's not on your knee. Very good. You might notice this is a little harder because it's more of a balance challenge. Yeah, this is getting tough. But if you put all your weight into the foot that's on the ground, it'll really help. So you're going to really push into the earth just like the roots of a tree push into the earth. They're strong and they help that tree grow, just like our tree. Our tree couldn't grow if we didn't push into the earth with that foot that's on the ground. All right, my tree feels pretty strong, so I'm going to slowly grow my limbs. Very good. Now remember, in our story, at one point the boy needed wood to build a house. And the tree said, you can cut off my limbs and have all the wood you need to build a house. So let's pretend like we're cutting down those limbs to build a house. Bring our hands into the middle because we no longer have limbs. We gave those to the boy to make him happy to build a house to keep him warm. Very good. Hold it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly bring your foot down. Slowly bring your hands down. We're back into that strong mountain pose. You can bend out your knees a little bit to make sure they still feel good. This is hard work. You guys are doing a great job. All right, we need to do that same tree pose on the other leg. So whichever leg you lifted last time, it's going to stay rooted into the earth, those strong roots to help us grow a tree. Then I'm going to bring my other leg and put it right on my, do you remember which part of the leg? The calf muscle. Very good. We did ankle last time, and we're not going to do knee. We're going to do my calf. So I just am resting my foot on the calf. All my weight's going into that foot that's on the ground, just like my strong roots to my tree. My tree feels really strong, so I'm going to begin growing my limbs. Very good. When we grow our limbs, we don't want our shoulders to come up, so try to leave your shoulders down your back, lifting your arms, strong limbs. But now the boy needs those limbs to build a house. So let's bring our hands in. Very good. Cutting down all the limbs so the boy has a house. If you notice, when you push into your hands, that helps your balance too. So if you get a little wobbly, push harder into your hands and into that standing foot. Or if you want to come back down to your ankle, you can do that too. That's great. Or you can always come back to mountain. If you're still in your tree pose, hold it for 3, for 2, for 1. Slowly bring your foot down. Slowly bring your hands down. Back into standing mountain pose. Very good job. Wow, my legs are tired. What about yours? Yeah, we worked them hard. Let's do a couple more of those knee lifts, stretching them out. Roll your ankle. Roll your other ankle. Very good. Come back down to your seated position. Great job. So we heard in the story that the boy cut down the limbs of the tree to build a house to keep warm. It made the tree happy to be able to help the boy. As the boy got older, he said he wanted a boat to sail away on. So what did the tree say? The tree said, cut down my trunk and build a boat. So let's see if we can do a boat posture next. let me show you what boat looks like. In boat pose, we're going to sit on our bottoms. Our legs are going to be out in front of us. Our knees are bent. Our back is still straight. We don't want to hunch or to be a hill. We want to still be strong like a mountain. Good. But in our boat pose, we're going to slowly lift our feet up off the ground. If you want to hold your legs like this, that can really help. If you want to try without, you can lift your arms out. Good. See how we're making the shape of a boat with our body? If you want to try to straighten your legs, you can, or you can leave them bent. Remember, do what feels good for who? For you. Yes, not what feels good for me, not what feels good for anyone else, but for you. For me, boat pose feels best with bent knees. Sometimes I like to straighten my knees, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I like to hold my legs. Sometimes I like to lift my arms out. Whatever feels good for you. If you want to try to slowly rock your boat like it's on the water, you can. But you don't want to move too fast or you'll fall and your boat will break. All right. Hold your boat pose for 3, for 2, and 1. Rock forward into your seated mountain pose. Very good. So just like the story, we built a boat also. Very good job. Now, at the very end, after the boy had built a boat out of the trunk, what was left of the tree? Do you remember? Yeah, just the stump. Let's see if we can look at the picture. Just the stump was left, but I'm going to read this last page. The tree said, "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could, "well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest." So for just a few moments, we're going to sit and rest, just like the stump, just like the boy on the stump. So we're going to sit. Remember, the stump said he straightened up tall, so we're going to do that too. But then we're just going to rest for just a second. If you want to close your eyes, you may. If you want to leave them open, that's great too. But for just a second, imagine being an old stump, just resting. Slowly breathe in and out, in and out. Thanking your body for the hard work it did today, through our tree poses, through our boat poses. Thanking your body for all the wonderful things it does for you every single day, keeping you strong, keeping you healthy, keeping you safe. One last moment, just sitting still, just like the tree stump. Breathing in, breathing out. Very good. If your eyes are closed, you can begin to open them. If they were open the whole time, you can begin to get back into that mountain pose if you got out of it. We're sitting crisscross, our back is straight. We have just one more activity before we'll end for today. But before we do that last activity, I'd like you to do a couple of those balloon breaths. We worked our body hard, so we want to fill our body with more of that good air. Take your hands, place them on your belly. Breathe in and out. In and out. Very good. Now for this last activity, we're going to do our mindful moment. And at this point, you are welcome to get out of your seated mountain pose. You can lay on your back if that's comfortable. You can lay on your side if that's comfortable. Just make sure that you don't have any distractions and that you're just listening to the words that I read. The words I read are going to be a mindful moment called Picture It Tree. Thought this went perfectly with our book today. So, in a comfortable position, whatever that is for you, with your eyes closed or open, begin to clear your mind, noticing your breath in and out, in and out. With your eyes closed or focused on something in front of you, imagine you see a majestic oak tree standing in the middle of an open field. There's nothing else around except this beautiful, big tree. You begin to walk over to the tree and you sit down to rest your back against its solid trunk. You feel peaceful and protected beneath the big branches of this wise old tree. Listening closely, you begin to hear the tree whispering. It's whispering through the breeze. It has a kind and caring voice. The tree says, "Picture it and it will be." You think about this message for a moment, and then you begin to think of something you would like to do well. Perhaps it's riding a bike, or being more patient, or being more considerate of others. Maybe you'd like to do better on your math tests, or maybe you'd like to become a veterinarian someday. Whatever it is, imagine yourself doing it easily and really well. Stay with this picture now for a minute. Notice how you feel when you see yourself achieving what you wish to achieve. You feel confident, you feel powerful, you feel so proud of your success. The tree whispers again, "Remember, picture it and it will be. Picture it and it will be. Be who you want to be and make your dreams a reality. Picture it and it will be. Picture it and it will be. Be who you want to be and make your dreams a reality." Wow, you think. What a wise statement. You now know that when there is something you would like to be or do well, you can just take a few moments to close your eyes and picture yourself actually being or doing it really well. Then you can take a moment to feel the feeling of what that's like. It feels great. You say to yourself, "I can do it. I did it." Thank you, tree. You are so wise, you think. Listening closely, you hear the tree whisper back, "You are very welcome, but know that the wisdom is always right inside of you when you take a moment to listen." When you are ready, take a long, slow, deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. If you're laying down, very slowly begin to push yourself up into a seated pose. If your eyes were closed, very slowly begin to open your eyes. Breathe in, breathe out. Notice how you feel. The wise tree had a really important message. He said, "Picture it and it will be." So whatever you pictured during our mindful moment, remember, you can make that a reality by just doing it and doing your best. So as the wise tree says, picture it and it will be. Be who you want to be and make your dreams a reality. Today and every day, think of what you want to be. Maybe it's a little kinder. Maybe it's hopeful. Maybe it's being really good at basketball. Whatever it is that you want to be, know that you have it within you. All you have to do is let yourself shine and keep practicing and keep doing your best. And what you want to be will be. Thank you for joining us today. I had a great time learning from the giving tree, doing our yoga practice, and ending with our mindful moment. Remember, you can do these things anytime, anywhere. You don't have to have a mat. It doesn't take much time. You could always take your deep breaths in the car, when you wake up in the morning. Anytime it feels good. I know I do it all the time. So I hope you'll join me. Until I see you again, remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and do something to make someone smile. I'll see you guys again soon. Have a wonderful day.